Welcome to the next episode
Yes.
of our Two News Oklahoma Cold Case podcast. I had two in my head, so I said second because I wanted to make sure I said Two News Oklahoma. Sharon Phillips, our anchor reporter, who is spearheading this series that we launched about 2 months ago, started talking something we always talked about in the newsroom, just the cold cases and the cases that we all still remember covering, from being in this industry. And specifically, Sharon and I have both been in this market for a long time. Which is kind of unusual news. People tend to move around. But knowing the history of the market, knowing a lot of these cases, these cold cases really stand out to us. And me being a podcast nerd who listens to a lot of true crime, and Sharon being out covering it, married to a police officer, we just really wanted to have a way to kind of highlight these cases on multi-platforms. And really kind of hopefully get their stories out and get these people's families some justice and not closure, but some sort of like ending, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So Sharon, what's it like now that we've been doing these for a couple of months? Like, what's the process like? Like, how do you pick the cases, like that kind of thing?
So we try to do cases within every jurisdiction. And so we started with the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office. We did 4 cases with them. And then went to the Tulsa Police Department and did a couple cases with them. And then this week we're talking about some cases that happened in Rogers County, which, if you all don't know, Claremore, that area.
And Claremore is really like the main hub of Rogers County. But yeah, it's part, and it borders Tulsa.
Yeah.
And this is actually also the oldest case you've done so far.
It is.
When I was reading your log and your scripts the other day to write up the bullet points for this, 1977.
Right. This is an old one.
So this is Laura Long. So tell us about Laura.
So this one, just as a mother, this one breaks my heart. Laura Long was an 18-year-old girl living in the Claremore area at the time, and she ended up losing her life in a brutal way. She was also sexually assaulted. Basically, the way that we were able to tell the story is that we went back and met with a woman named Pat Riley Reeder, and she is the former managing editor of the Claremore Daily Progress, and she had a really unbelievable story to tell with the Laura Long story. But basically what happened was she said that when Laura went missing back in 1977.
What time of year was it?
This was, I believe, in the summertime.
That's how I read it. I just wasn't positive.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. I've done so many of these. And
I know. I'm sorry. I kind of sprung that question on you.
No, that's fine. But her body was found partially nude, and there was evidence of sexual assault. She was found in a ditch. And what is so sad about this is when we were talking to Pat Reeder, she said that Laura's parents had approached her earlier that week and begged her to run something about Laura missing. Well, Pat had asked, if they had reported her missing and, what did the FBI and the police say? And she wanted the family of Laura Long to wait 24 hours before they did anything. Well, then before the 24 hours were up, they found out about Laura's body being in the ditch. And so Pat said that stuck with her.
Well, and that's such a fine line in this market, in this industry, because we get so many calls with kids who've run away, with things like that. And so a lot of stations, I know she feels guilt, but a lot of news organizations have parameters that they use to decide when they're going to report.
That's right.
Or all the coverage we did would be of missing people.
Exactly.
So
I'm glad you pointed that out. That's so important to point out.
Yeah. So I just think I understand her guilt. For sure, but it's a decision everyone has to make at some point.
Right. And it was an editorial decision. And she said, but ironically, Pat told me after that happened, she told herself she would never deny another parent's request again moving forward. And so Pat Reeder was not only the newspaper managing editor at the time, she also took all the crime scene photos for both the police and sheriff's office. And so when they found Laura's body, they actually called Pat. She went out.
So she was like right there when it happened.
She was. She photographed Laura's body in the ditch, and it broke her heart because she had spoken to her parents. And so from that day forward, they were trying to find out who did this to Laura. And they just didn't have a whole lot to go on. And it was just devastating. And Pat did say at the time that she was frustrated with how the investigation was conducted, and she felt like there was a lot of things that could have been done differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, back in 1977,
Yeah.
they didn't have all the tools that we have now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's just the way crimes are investigated have changed so much since then. I mean, we all watching like CSI and stuff. Obviously, like DNA testing has come so far, but at that time, you didn't even know that you needed to preserve that kind of thing necessarily, because you don't necessarily think, oh, in like 20 years, I'll be able to like get like this very minute DNA to tell me something. So it just makes it extra frustrating. But then also, you can't fault the investigators at the time for that.
Pat did tell me that, as we were talking about Laura, she said during her investigation, she found that Laura had moved to Claremore with her family, and she was extremely lonely. She missed, her friends back home and all of that. And so I guess, according to Pat, she started talking on a CB radio to truckers and different things. And so they kind of wonder, maybe she started talking to the wrong person and something happened with that.
For our younger listeners, CB radios, it's kind of like social media before like the internet. Like it was, truckers typically had them in their cars. I have friends who still do it. Our chief engineer here, our director of engineer, like still does CB and ham radio kind of things. Like it's still a thing that's around, but just in case, for those of you who aren't aware, you can kind of like talk. Truckers use it to communicate things happening when they see them on the highway, and it's kind of like it's like a community.
It is. It really is. And so they don't know for sure if that's what led to her death, but they, knowing what they know now, they think that maybe, she just started talking to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And
because I mean, you're just hearing a voice. It has to be so hard to discern. It's not like now when we can like Google or do everything and learn more about people. I mean, she probably didn't even have a face going with it when she was making these connections.
No, and she was 18 years old. I mean, just a young girl, and almost about to graduate, or she right around that time, I believe. And it just, the sad thing is Pat told me that not only did this devastate the community there in Claremore, it ended up breaking up her parents' marriage.
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot like having a trauma, like losing a child, is one of the main things that can cause a marriage to end, because you either heal together and come together, or you grow apart, and there becomes just a huge catalyst in your marriage. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I do want to share some sound we got. This is from Scott Walton, who is the Rogers County Sheriff, talking kind of about this case, and what they need to help solve this.
Left, a pool of very little information left. There is some valuable information that still exists on this, but I mean, we're desperately in need of just a little bit more fresh information to be able to go ahead and and prosecute somebody on this.
Yeah, they just need that little bit of information.
Anything will help these investigators, and there are multiple investigators on this case as well, like the other case that we spoke about.
It's another multi-juris. Yeah, because it happened in Claremore, but Rogers County is obviously involved as well.
Yes, and so I mean, if you knew Laura, if you knew her parents, if you knew, if you worked with her, if you
were in a CB radio, like happened to use it back in that time in 1977 in that area, you could have heard something. You could just know the people who were on it a lot that might know something that could always help investigators. One thing that I found so interesting about this, and part of it's the news junkie in me, was that the person that you got such poignant information from was the editor of the local paper.
Right.
That just shows like the community, like everyone knew everyone. Like the family went right to the local newspaper when Laura disappeared. I just think that's so interesting, and just kind of shows what a role like everyone in a community plays together when it comes to sharing information. Yes. Investigating. She also worked with the police department. I mean, it's just so interesting to me as someone who I grew up in Tulsa, which is a small town in the sense that everyone knows everyone, but not in that sense. Like I wouldn't have gone to the editor of the Tulsa World when something happened in my family.
Yeah.
But just shows like how close knit that community was, and why the whole community was so like hurt by this incident with Laura.
When we went to Pat's house, we walked in and she just had like folders and folders of old newspaper clippings, and when she opened up the folder on Laura, like, I talk about in the story how they were yellowed old papers, if you can just picture that. Yeah. And she's sifting through, and she covered this case extensively because she felt such guilt. And, and then she ended up photographing her body.
Well, she had to feel such a connection being called to the crime scene.
Yes, yes. And so it was really neat because she was able to fill in a lot of holes that investigators couldn't for us. And so a lot of times when we go back and interview investigators, all they have most likely at that time it's not their case. It was
Right. So
given
they're
to
just
them.
looking at what's in the folder.
Yes.
But she was actually there, which is
Yeah,
nice.
Pat was there. She knew the family. She had such a connection, and it was just a real treat for us to get to talk with her about this case.
So you will see Laura's case on 2 News Oklahoma coming up on Thursday at 10. Or if you're listening to this after the fact, it will be on our website, our YouTube channel. We'll share them on Sharon's social media, which is on our Facebook page at Sharon Phillips News, correct?
Just Sharon Phillips.
Just Sharon Phillips, I'm sorry. And then the 2 News Oklahoma Facebook page, you can find it by searching 2 News Oklahoma. And, if you listen to it and you watch it, share it. Help get Laura's case out there. Help find that, there's just one nugget is all Walton says they need. They do have some evidence still saved, so they just need what they can connect it to. So that's, why we do this. It's why we want you guys to listen. And if you have a cold case that you think could be interesting,
yes.
Reach out to Sharon. You can contact her on our Facebook page. We really want to make sure we're covering the gamut of Northeast Oklahoma. Sharon's going all over to interview these people. So
I think this is such a way that we can help in the community and use the power of what we do as journalists. And yes, if you do have a cold case, if if you know someone who's experienced something like this and they need some help getting it solved, please contact me, and we'd love to work on it.
And if you know anything about Laura's case or any of the cases we've mentioned on our website, if you click on the stories, we've included who to contact to share anything you might know. So thank you guys for listening, and we will see you again next week.